Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at all these people here. Hi.
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 Welcome.
Audio.
Oh, this is great.
Good morning.
Good
Can't
morning.
keep quiet.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Hello, all.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Morning.
It'll be muted in a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not muting anyone yet. I thought you all wanted to say hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
good deal.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Mary Jo.
Hi.
Popping me up a little. So don't get dizzy.
I uncovered my camera. Hey, there's Dad.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
Nice group.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Sandy.
Oops, Darlene, how many
Morning.
people we got on?
I'm trying to see if I can see how many.
Somebody's in the dark.
That's me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tim.
Cindy's, Sylvia's always in the dark.
Oh, that's
Be
not
careful.
nice.
Watch that.
That
Morning,
wasn't
Linda.
very nice.
Hey.
Hi, Beck.
I'm gonna bring that.
Hi.
We got a TV on.
See the ceiling. Somebody.
Jude, are you there?
Linda.
Yes.
Which
Julie's got a
Linda?
beautiful bookcase.
Oh, thank you.
Darlene, thanks for your help yesterday.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad that it was worked out.
I haven't seen you in forever. Julie Wellpot.
Just a minute.
Oh, this is great. Somebody needs to mute. Can somebody mute their TV?
Oh, we're getting a
Oh,
lot
that's
of
me.
people.
That's me. There you go.
Oh, I didn't bring my sweater down. Shoot.
Oh, there you are, Jude.
Yes. No. I'll just sit here. This will be fine.
Come back, Jude. Where are you going?
A lot of people without faces.
Okay.
I
needed tissues.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Nancy.
Oh. You don't have to. I'm fine. Okay, I need to put
We
my
got such a
video
nice large group. That's great.
Ooh, Sylvia, give me a better
You know
look
what?
at your
That's not
hair.
any better.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, just that sweater. Dad brought it up and I forgot to take it down. Yeah, that's
Oh, you know
anyway.
what? Let me go get something. I'll be right back.
It's going to get
My
really
bridal
loud if
gown.
people don't mute themselves.
Yeah, they will.
Oh, that's good, Sylvia.
Much better. Oh, yeah.
There you go, Sylvia.
She
I
just
had
wanted to
to
show off her
move.
culture.
I had to move my tables. It's the
Oh,
third.
no.
Yeah. I'm trying to be accommodating.
Yeah, okay.
Morning, Susan.
Hi, Sylvia.
Sylvia.
Yes.
Ooh, I like your hair,
So
Sylvia.
when do they serve the coffee?
I got
here,
water,
come
so I
over.
don't have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I got my coffee here.
Right here.
The kids just bought me a cheese Danish from Rise and Shine.
Ooh.
Buy my coffee. I bought
Nice.
my coffee
Lucky
too.
you.
I
It's
should have thought of
backwards.
that. I don't know.
Okay.
Good
So
morning, Mary Jo.
Hi.
Hi, Mary
Mary Jo, where are the kids?
Large.
Where are the kids? Oh,
Yeah.
good question. I told them about it. They sent in their forms. I just don't know what's going
Yeah, I
on.
got
They're-
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. cousin's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they had a sleepover.
Ah.
Well,
They're probably
That takes-
still asleep.
yeah. No, whoever house they're in is hoping that they're still asleep.
Right.
How you doing, Susan?
I'm fine.
Good.
Good morning,
Thank you.
Marge.
Morning.
I'm great. Thank you very much.
Hey, Barb.
Fine.
Wow, this is a good group. Wow.
Thrilled.
We've got
Hi,
about
Christy.
40.
Oh, Christy, how are you doing? The surgery go
fine.
I'm doing
well?
fine.
I'm fine.
Ah, Christy.
Hey,
I don't know
Christy.
how to change my thing from iPad to my name.
Hey, Jan.
Hello.
Sorry. I'm in my husband's office.
Okay, ladies, we've got about 47 people right now. I'll let more people
Wow.
if they come on. Like there's another one, so we got like 48. What I'd like for you all to do, since everybody's had a chance to pretty much say hello, is if you would mute. And if not, I'll just mute everyone. But I think I can do it here.
Darlene, I have a question. Are you going to record this?
Yeah. Yes. So when you need to speak about something, you can unmute. You should be able to unmute, okay? I'm still letting people in here, so we're getting a few more. So if I get distracted for a second, that's why, all right? So, okay, so I first wanted to tell you, welcome to the 42nd annual meeting. And as an Indianapolis chapter of the American Sewing Guild, thank you for voting. Thank you for attending. Even though this has been a really challenging year, I've heard so many positive thoughts about being a member of ASG. And even though we weren't able to meet at most of our usual spots, many of our friends found a way to get together anyhow. They met in parks and parking lots. They met online. We kept busy sewing for ourselves, our families, and others. We have made masks, stockings, quilts, pillows, done alterations, and just about any kind of sewing that could be done was done. We also learned new ways to communicate and have been more active on Facebook and GroupWorks, and found a new friend in Zoom. As we don't know when life will become normal, many of our groups are starting to hold Zoom meetings. And I'll put together a list of some of those groups so that maybe we can join those meetings when it fits into our time frame. I'll send that out later this month. As expected during this time of uncertainty, our member count has decreased from 301 members in January of this year to the current net members of 271. I believe we are the best kept secret. Others would likely join us if they knew how much fun, friendship, and knowledge we are sharing with one another. And I think they're really missing out. So you might think to invite some friends that maybe like to be more involved in a great organization. You can tell them about all the community work that we do. I think a lot of people are interested in that. Your CAB has been busy planning some events that can be held safely in the coming year. On January 24th at 4 p.m., we're going to have a Zoom speak with Virginia Postrel. She is, her latest book is called The Fabric of Civilization, How Textiles Made the World. And I think that should be an interesting book because we're all interested in textiles. And we've got a couple of books that we've ordered so that for a giveaway. And I'll send more information on that, the January newsletter. We're going to have a shop hop in late spring. The date's still to be determined. And we're looking at some possible sew-alongs, which I think will be a lot of fun too. Our voting was done differently this year, and I hope you all found it easy to vote one way or another. Votes were unanimous with 89 votes received. And I'd like to know if there's a motion to accept the slate of candidates as presented. If somebody wants to do that and unmute themselves. Have
I
members,
move that we accept the slate of candidates.
thank you. And any
I
seconds?
second.
I second.
I second it.
Any objections? Okay, approved as presented, then thank you. Okay, so also we have some door prizes today. Obviously, I can't hand them to you, be a little difficult. So we'll draw random prizes and I'll mail them out to you, but I'll send a list of, I think we'll do maybe a list of the prizes or some way or another so that you can know, but we've got some good prizes. We've got gift certificates and some patterns and things. And I would like to introduce your cab for
Your meeting
20 and 21.
in December, unless you want to sit at this thing all the time.
What, it broke down?
I can't get it to,
Okay.
it's still,
Nancy,
I got her. I got her. Let me let somebody in here. Sorry. Well, we have 52, 53 people in here. All right. So Sylvia Lane's our neighborhood group coordinator. She sends updates to the leaders about CAB discussions, ensures they all have the forms they need, and is their first line support. Sylvia will continue in this position in 2021, but would like to have a partner for this job if possible. It's a big job. So thank you, Sylvia. Cindy Baker is our web mistress, and I'm sure everyone can agree she's done a great job keeping the website up to date and looking good. And she will continue with the website work in 2021. Kay Marcuson, our community service coordinator, has been very busy organizing pickups of fabric, delivery of made items, and trying to keep track of all of it. You know, we've made thousands of masks just alone, thousands of them. Thanks for your hard work, Kay. Nancy Sykes, our stitching line editor, I think everybody knows Nancy, don't they? Is always ready and willing to help others without complaint. Unfortunately, she has some other things she wants to do and will not be editor for 2021. So we're looking for someone to fill this position. If you're interested and want to know more details about what that position entails, and it's a fun opportunity, let me know. And thanks, Nancy, for all your work. We really appreciate it. Carol Neal is our Vice President of Membership. She welcomes new members and sends reminder letters to those whose memberships are about to expire. Carol is always prompt with her reports and is a great help when discussing ideas. Luckily, she'll be keeping this position next year. Thank you, Carol. Mary Jo Ingleton. Oh, we all know Mary Jo too. She's our secretary. She's fabulous at taking minutes. And I don't know how she separates the chatter from the discussion, but she does. And Mary Jo always keeps our Facebook page running and adding new members all the time. She gave me an update this morning how many new members we have, but I've already forgotten what it was. Or how many members we have total. Mary Jo?
we've gone from, in this year, we've gone from 301 to 343 Facebook members.
Which is really a lot. That's really good. So
It
the
is.
Facebook is becoming more and more active. So Mary Jo's going to also be doing the presentation with Linda today. Thank you. And Mary Jo, thanks for all your work keeping all those bad people out of Facebook and just getting the good ones in there.
You're welcome.
Brenda Gibbons is our treasurer, and she's kept accurate records and always been a kind and patient voice for the last 4 years. Unfortunately, she's at her term limit and must step down from that position. So thank you, Brenda, for all your help. And I've got her, as long as I can do this, I have her report pulled up for the financials for the year. So I get this. Now I did this a minute ago, so it should be on there. Okay. I think Can you see that? Okay. And you can see that we are.
No,
Darlene?
I don't see it at all.
Is anybody?
Black.
There we
There
go.
we go.
There it is.
Got it now? Okay. All right. So as you can see that we are in good shape financially. So your cab takes care of your dues, your funds. We are in good shape. And if anybody has any questions on anything, you can email me or Brenda and we can answer those questions. Okay. So I'm going to take that off now. Okay, so Eva Coleman is going to take Brenda's place as treasurer. She ran for office. I know Eva from attending the Franklin group. And I know she's going to be great in this position. Eva, thank you for stepping up on the cab. Christy Trexler has volunteered to run for the president in 2021 and beyond. Christy has served on the cab as VP as well as being on the board of other organizations. Christy is well organized, very efficient, and will make a great president. And thanks, Christy. We appreciate that. Now, so the ballots, like I said, we're all in. And I'd like to know if we could move to destroy the ballots since the votes were unanimous and there was no contention for any of the offices. Would anyone move to destroy the ballots?
I'll move to destroy the ballots.
Okay, thank you. Any second?
Second.
All right, thank you. And any objection? No? Okay, so moved. The ballots will be destroyed. Thank you. Now, I have really enjoyed being part of the CAB. Thank you all for the opportunity. I've learned a lot of things. I've had some challenges, not always been perfect in all those things, but I've learned a lot and it's been fun. You guys are the best group of gals. I mean, my daughter even says Stoneville gals are like the nicest people, and she's absolutely right. So it's been fun. It's been great for me. Now, before we start with Mary,
Darlene,
yeah,
I'm going to interrupt, and I'd like to hopefully say for everyone, thank you for doing this for the last year. You've done a great job, and it's been a good year.
thank you.
And I'm sure Christy will do an awesome job too.
Yeah, she's going to be great. I have no worries about that. All right, before I put Mary Jo and Linda to their paces here, I thought maybe you guys that had a mug rug, you can like hold it up and then you can unmute yourself and say something about it if you want. Okay. Mary Jo?
You want to call us out by name?
Yeah, when you hold it up, if you move it around, I'll be able to do that, okay? Mary Jo?
Okay, this is my mug rug, and it's obviously a Christmas mug rug. That's really about all I have to say about it. It was fun to make.
I like it.
Very simple.
Okay. Linda?
My mug rug is an Easter mug rug. So I made it some time ago when I was not quarantined, but not allowed to leave the house. So that's mine. And it's a Kimberbell pattern.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, great. Linda Abel?
I belong to Vantage, and they had a thing on doing your own thing. So I kind of took their idea and did 2 different versions. And they're actually more of a wine mug rug. I put a wine bottle on it on the table.
A mug of wine sounds all right too.
Yeah, that's what we think.
I like them. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else got one? Wave it around so I can see. Does anybody see anyone else with any?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a bunch.
Okay, let me
Sandy Hanline.
move the screen around. Okay, Sandy Hayline. Oh, that's so cute.
I can't see it.
Sandy, Alt A will unmute you.
Yeah, let me unmute. I don't know. I think she has. Can I unmute her?
Sandy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
There she
can.
goes. Okay, there we go.
This is a Halloween And me and my cats, I love cats, so I made the cat. It's a kiwi pattern, a free giveaway.
Cute.
That is cute.
Okay, the next one.
Marge had one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
Marge had
okay.
two.
I did Christmas one. Okay, and then I did this one, and I didn't like the words. It was supposed to say soar. No, it was supposed to say something about an owl, and I didn't like that. And so I put soar like an eagle, but it's an owl. So I had to add something to it. I put or an owl down below here.
Night eagle. It's a night eagle. That's what it is.
Right.
Okay, Midge.
Yeah, mine says surviving quarantine one sip at a time.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
Cute.
I like that one too. Okay, Cindy.
Yeah, mine was a challenge for one of the embroidery websites. I've had it quite a while, but I just saw it laying here and thought I'd hold it up.
I like it.
It's cute.
Okay, Frank. You have to unmute yourself.
I have one.
Okay, there,
Okay,
Frank,
I
we
think
can
I'm
hear
good
you.
now. This is a teacher mug rug. It's bits of wool that are stitched together, and the apple.
Oh, it's cute. Thank you. Okay.
Darlene, I have one.
All right.
I made these for the 8 of us that went on a cruise in February with Sweet Pea. Where we were Sweet Pea addicts.
And it was fun. If anybody's ever thought of doing a sewing cruise, it was awesome.
Those are cute. You have a
Yeah, but it's really hard to understand and keep it there.
I have one.
All right.
oh, pretty.
This one is Sweet Land of Liberty for the 4th of July, and this is another one I did.
Those are cute.
Archie has one.
Okay.
Now mine's just plain and simple, but it's finished.
Yay.
Good deal.
I have some.
All right.
Oh, who is that?
I don't know, Benita. Oh, we'll go ahead. We'll keep going through. Benita.
Very pretty.
I made, and it says Sweet Land of Liberty.
That's cute too. All right.
I've got some here.
Okay.
This one here is what I use in my sewing room. And then I've got this one here, which is also sewing related. And then that is the Christmas one.
Oh, you are overachiever. 3 of them.
Yeah.
I have one.
All right. That's cute too.
This is
Very
my
cool, Casey.
This is my crazy lady, crazy sewing lady, because I'm a crazy sewing lady.
Did you design that?
Aren't we all?
No, and unfortunately, I can't remember which site I got it from. I want to say like, I don't think it was Sweet Pea, but it might have been. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm on so many sites, I can't remember anymore.
That's cute.
It's very nice.
Okay, Laura?
This one is a Patrick Lose design. He's got like monthly clubs, and I think this one is the monthly mug mat.
Oh, that's cute too. These are so fun.
Who has this club?
Patrick Lose. Lose is the last name.
All right.
Say it again. What's the full name again?
Patrick Lose, Lose. Party with Patrick, like that was a sewing store. He used to do events with stores. I don't know if they still do that anymore, but he's got a website and lots of designs, but
He's also got a magazine that's they put out. But I think it's bi-monthly.
It looks like one for some of us to check out. Okay. Am I missing anybody's mug rugs?
Oh, yeah, there's several
Go
showing
back the
around.
other way.
Yeah, Barb Cecil, unmute yourself.
Mine is for Indiana. I have the state of Indiana with different locations, round barns, Speedway, and then I put American Sewing Guild to the side because we are an Indiana Sewing Guild. That's
right.
it.
Very nice, Barb.
Nice.
Thank you.
Krista?
Surprise, surprise. These are all both hatched in Africa. They're Christmas because it is Christmas at my house.
They're not purple. Where's the purple?
It's Christmas.
Oh.
Those are pretty. Okay. Jude?
Hi, I made a couple. This is probably my favorite design for a mug rug. I made a pretty large one for this so that I could get the ASG Region 3 map on it. But this is from 5 Star Fonts, and it originally came with a flower right here. And so I went into my, my embroidery software and just took that out, and I put whatever I want on this. So I've made quite a few of these. I put people's initials on it. I made some for all the members in our doll club with our indie cloth doll maker logo.
Could you raise it a little higher up? Yeah, there you go.
And I made 2 because I couldn't decide which colors I liked the best.
That's a nice.
Very nice.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Who else? We got some more? Am I missing anyone?
I see another one shaking around down here, Alta.
Unmute, Alta.
Kind of a cheater one. I just took the print and made a mug rug out of that. But it's very serviceable. I can use that side, or I can turn it over and I can use this side.
Got a coffee theme.
Yeah. So that's my offering.
Yep. Mine is made out of motive fabric, some charm squares that I had, and I was practicing my miter corners and working with fusible web that I got with the gift certificate that I won from Select Sewing last year at the meeting. So thank you, Select Sewing, and that's mine.
Okay. All right. Okay, do we have some more mug rugs? Sorry, so I can't see everybody's name all at once. I have to scroll back and forth, so that's why I'm just checking to see. Are there any more?
I don't see any more, darling.
Okay. I have one that I made yesterday when I wasn't doing anything else. So anyway, it's just a Christmas one. So I'll take it to work. All right. Okay, then I would like to introduce Linda Baker and Mary Jo Enkleton to do our program today if they're ready. And we appreciate you doing the program. We thank you. And I'm going to mute also. So you guys are tired of listening to me anyway, I'm sure. So I'm going to mute everybody, and then you guys all have to unmute yourselves again, okay?
Okay. Sylvia, can you unmute yourself?
I just did.
We're all muted again.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Ladies, it takes me a minute or two to get the share screen, so just
Okay,
be
well,
patient with me and I will
I
get.
have some things to say first, so.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Linda Baker and Mary Jo Enkleton. The two of us will do this presentation. Sylvia Lane is going to moderate it and provide our slides today. Periodically, she will stop us from talking, and we will answer questions. To help with this, if you will go to the top of your screen, you will see speaker view. And if you click on speaker view, then it should get the person who is speaking is going to pop up. Mary Jo speaking?
Yes, I'm speaking.
Okay. We would like for all of you to stay muted. And at the bottom of your screen, you will see the word chat. If you will put your questions or comments in there, then periodically Sylvia will stop us and ask the questions or make the comments for you. This way, we won't have the constant chatter that can interrupt the program. At the end of our presentation, we will do a mini trunk show. So we will show a couple things during our presentation, but then at the end, we will we'll have a little mini trunk show. Okay. Sylvia, do you have your slides up?
I do, but nobody else can see them.
Okay, well, while she's trying to get those slides up, let me just get started. What Mary Jo and I are going to talk about today are cutting machines. We have both electronic cutting machines and manual cutting machines. We use cutting machines for our quilts, our appliques. We also use them for crafting, cards, stickers, decals, signs. We use them to decorate t-shirts, and we can also use them to etch glass. The medium that we can use while we are using these cutting machines are fabric, of course, and we can use that in our quilting, we can sewing, we can use it in our embroidery or even crafting. So we have medium like fabric, vinyl, cork, transfer sheets, paper, faux leather, felt, minky, and template materials. So we have a myriad of materials that we can use to go through the cutting machines. We really have two different kinds of cutting machines. One that uses mats and cut files, so you have programs on your computer or on the unit itself that you can use to cut things. And then we also have like the AccuQuilt that uses dyes and mats. We're going to briefly go through the different kinds that we know of and we are somewhat familiar with. Mary Jo is going to start with that, and we're going to start with the Cricut. Mary Jo?
Yep. Okay, there we go. Okay. Good morning, everyone. There are a lot of different brands of cutting machines available. Like Linda said, you have what's known as electronic cutting machines, and then other non-electronic, like the AccuQuilt. The most popular home hobby cutting machines are Cricut, Silhouette Cameo, and Scan and Cut. All of these cutting machines come with their own proprietary software where you can edit and create designs. I'm going to today talk about Cricut, Silhouette, and Brother. Unfortunately, our Cricut expert, Cherry Castle, couldn't make it today. So Linda was gracious enough to ask her what are her favorite things about the Cricut. And I know that Cherry has several different models of Cricut, but she said she uses the Cricut Maker and said she loves how easy it is to use, its dependability, and the multitude of blades available: rotary, deep cut, perforation, wavy, and many others. She also said that she really loves the hundreds of thousands of designs that are available in the Cricut design software. The next machine I'm going to talk about is a Silhouette Cameo. To my knowledge, Silhouette is the only brand of home cutting machine that you can upgrade your software to different levels so that you can have enhanced design features. It's a very robust software. Silhouette is my personal favorite software to use when I'm creating a design because of its flexibility. One thing that the Designer Edition allows you to do is import the most common machine embroidery files, which is very helpful when you're using applique designs. With this software, you can isolate the tack down stitch. And for those of you that don't have an embroidery machine, if you're doing applique, the first thing you stitch out is a tack down stitch. Will show you where to put your applique fabric. The next one I'm going to talk about is Scan and Cut. I have a Scan and Cut. I had a Silhouette. I bought my first Silhouette in 2014. Then in around 2016, I discovered Scan and Cut. My favorite features of the Scan and Cut is the scanner and the fact that it's got a built-in LCD screen where you can create designs within the machine itself. So the first thing that I'm going to show you, let me switch to my other video here. Okay, this is my Scan and Cut machine. And the first thing that I'm going to create two things for you today. I'm going to do this little design, which is a simple design where I'm going to draw and cut and then add vinyl. And this one, I'm going to load in a piece of cardstock that has all of these, I call them the crazy little old ladies. Someone else mentioned that. And then we'll cut around these ladies. So that's what we're going to get started on. This is the Scan and Cut LCD screen, and I'm sorry for the back and forth with the camera, but I only have one external camera. Unlike some people who
we can't see what she has.
Pardon me?
We can't see what you're doing. We still have the slides up on our screen.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Yeah, it should be on the side of your screen. Oh, Sylvia, did you get rid of this?
Sylvia just closed the slides. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Please please mute or, yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
Okay, so this is the scan and cut screen that comes on when you first start your machine. And we're going to make, for those of you that couldn't see it, this is what I'm going to make first. This simple little design, I'm going to draw on my cardstock, then I'm going to cut around it and then put some vinyl on that. So the first thing we're going to do, and I apologize for going back and forth with my screen, like I said, I'm going to load my mat. If I press the right button, it will load. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is draw the little curlicue design on the mat. And right now I'm getting my pen ready, which I apologize, I should have had that done, but it's a good time for me to say you can, with a scan and cut, now I'm not sure of the other machines, you can draw using any pen that will fit into this universal blade holder. Scan and cut comes with, I think 4, 5, or 6 pins, but you can get a lot of different effects using other pins. So the first thing I'm going to do is retrieve the design that I have already put into my machine, and it's in the scan and cut. This is what I'm going to draw. So I select that. Okay, now I have to tell it I'm going to draw. These are all the things that you can do. I can do on my scan and cut, draw, everybody can do that. But I have some other pin sets, emboss and foil. I'm going to select draw, set for draw, and now I'm going to start drawing. See it drawing? Like I said, you can use any pin to draw with that will fit into that blade holder. Cricut has a lot of really nice colors available. They have a lot of metallic colors. I think I've got gold, purple, blue. What I'm using right now is just a standard old, plain old fashioned Sharpie, fine point Sharpie. It has to be a fine point Sharpie to fit in the barrel. The fatter ones are too, whoops, there you go, too fat to fit into the pin holder. Now, if you notice, I have some tape around here. That's to make sure that you get a nice firm grip on that pin while you're drawing. Okay, I've drawn. Now I'm going to take my pin holder out, put my blade in. It tells me right here that it's finished. So now I'm going to select my cut file. Okay, this is what I want to cut. Whoops, you can't see that, can you? It's too light. But we're going to cut it. Now this time, okay, can you see that, ladies? I'm going to select cut, start, and I do not have to scan my mat. I'll show you scanning the mat in a minute. Now I'm going to just simply cut around that design that I just drew. And one thing I like about the scan and cut is it has an auto blade that will detect the thickness of what you're cutting. I think all of the newer machines nowadays have an auto blade, but Silhouette and Cameo, you set the thickness of what you're going to cut from within the software. Scan and cut, it does it automatically. So I cut this. Now I have my little design. I'm going to take my mat out. And I'll put a mat in that has some vinyl. Loading my mat. Now this time I am going to show you how to get a design from my PC into the software or into the scan and cut. So I am going to share my desktop with you. Okay, can you see my desktop? Okay, I see Linda nodding her head. Okay,
Yes.
this is the scan and cut Canvas software. This is what comes with the scan and cut. It's free. Scan and cut, you can't upgrade the software like the Silhouette, but there are two versions available. One is the web-based version, which is what I happen to have open right now, and the other one is a version you can load onto your desktop. There's all different projects within the scan and cut software that you can do. This is a real cute little Christmas snowman that I made a bunch of those last year and filled with candies for gifts. You can make garlands, boxes. You can put designs on balloons. There's just a myriad of different things that you can do with these projects. And the projects come with instructions how to do all of these. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open my projects. And these are the different things I have in here. This is what we just did. Okay, and this is what we're going to cut onto the vinyl. So I'm going to select Indie ASG, and I'm going to click the download button. And I'm going to tell it that I want to transfer it to my scan and cut using Wi-Fi. That's what the little cloud shows. It's just a standard Wi-Fi symbol. Okay, it tells me it's ready. Now I'm going to go back to the scan and cut. There's my messy desktop. There's the scan and cut. So again, I'm going to retrieve data. And here's my Wi-Fi symbol. I'm going to tap that. Magic happens, and there is my Indie ASG. Now this is where we're going to scan the mat. I've got my mat loaded. And I need to scan my mat by pressing this little scanner button right here. Tell it to start.
Why are you scanning?
Okay, I'm scanning because I want to know exactly where that vinyl is placed. That's a really nice feature with the scan and cut. And I just tacked my vinyl down in the middle of the mat. So when this is through scanning, okay, hopefully you can see this. Right down here is the letters that I scanned in. You can't see it because it's on white. So I can precisely place that on that little piece of vinyl. So now I'm ready to cut. I'm going to press OK. That's a very good question, Linda. Thank you. Now I'm going to tell it that I want to cut. And one thing I need to do is, for those of you that don't know what vinyl is simply a product that has a shiny plasticky surface on one side and a hard surface on the other. And if I peel back the vinyl, this is what it looks like. So when I cut vinyl, I'm actually cutting into this top surface the letters that I want to cut. So when I cut vinyl, I have to tell it that I want a half cut, because if I do not half cut, I'll cut through that backing. And trust me, I've done it. If you cut through the backing, then all you're going to have is a bunch of little letters with backing and vinyl on it. So I am set now for half cut. I'm going to press start. And as this blade starts up, you'll be able to tell that it's testing the thickness of what I'm cutting. The blade is reading my mat for thickness. I don't know if you can see how the blade goes up and down. Now it's reading the material that I just put on there. And there it goes and it's cutting. The other models, Cricut and Cameo, also have an auto cut blade. And I don't remember if I said this before, but with the Cricut and the Silhouette, you have to set that thickness within the software. And for me, that was always kind of a hit or miss thing. Okay, so I have cut my vinyl. I'm going to take my mat out, take my vinyl off by bending the mat, and yay raw, I did not cut all the way through the backing. Trust me, I have done that, like I said. Okay, now we have to do something called weeding. When you weed vinyl, what you're doing is taking away, right here I have just a piece of vinyl, you can't tell what's on it. So I'm going to take away that dead space, so all I have left is my letters. And I know you cannot see that, but to weed it, whoops, there we go. I'm just gonna, this is my favorite tool. It's kind of like a dental pick. It's got a bent edge. Okay, so I'm going to tag just the edge of that vinyl.
Mary Jo, can you move it to the left a little, just a little bit?
Okay.
To the left.
My left?
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda. So I just took just a corner of that vinyl, and you need to weed very slowly because sometimes the letters come off with. And the other thing you need to be very careful of is don't let this sticky vinyl touch your letters because it will pull your letters off. Done that too. So now this is the negative space of what I just cut. You get the inside of my D out, the inside of my A out. Whoops, and it's stuck on that vinyl. And I tend to stick the vinyl on my hands or whatever, which is always fun if you're cutting with vinyl and then you go outside. I have little pieces of glitter and stuff all over me. Okay, then I have what we printed and cut. And I'm going to take my, well, first of all, I have to get my vinyl off of this backing. So to do that, you use transfer material. It comes in paper and plastic. So you put that down over the letters that you want to move, smooth it out, and I use old gift cards, any flat edge. I have burnishing tools like this that I can use. And then again, just slowly peel that off. Oops. So now my letters are on the transfer material. So I want to put it on the cutout design. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and I see a little dot over here in the corner that I accidentally put on there, and I don't want to transfer that. And because I'm putting this on paper, I'm not going to tack it down real hard because I don't want to remove, my hand's in the way, I'm sorry. I don't want to remove the surface of the paper. Whoops. So very
Mary
carefully.
Jo,
Yes.
Evelyn had a question. Is the dental tool something that comes with the machine?
No, it does not, but you can find them just about any place. I think I bought, this is a whole set that's got different points. I bought my first set at Harbor Freight. They're a little thicker than this, but it works quite well. Harbor Freight has a lot of things that you can use with crafting. I very, very much like Harbor Freight. Okay, and I'm still peeling.
I think Sandy had a question. She started it with, is the V. I think she's going to say something about vinyl. Sandy, would you unmute and ask your question, please?
I was going to ask her, is the vinyl special that you buy, or is it a something that is not special for the machine?
There's all kinds of vinyl available. I tend to like a brand called Oracle. Oracle comes in, well, any vinyl. Some people have been known to use contact paper. I've never done it with contact paper, but I see on Facebook that a lot of people do that. Vinyl comes in all different kinds. You can get a shiny vinyl, which is what this is. It's shiny. You can get it in matte. You can get heat transfer vinyl. I'm sorry, my mind went totally blank. You can get heat transfer vinyl. If you're using heat transfer, you would want to reverse your image, because with heat transfer, you're going to iron that onto a piece of clothing or a bag. And I have, for the trunk show, I have something that I did use heat transfer on. You can get vinyl in glitter, hologram. I mean, there's just a plethora. So I guess the easy answer, Sandy, is yeah, it's kind of a specialty product. Any more questions? Okay, thank you, ladies.
Yes, Linda, Abel has a question, but Linda, if you'll hold on, that's going to be a topic in just a minute, okay?
I did have a question.
Okay.
And where do you purchase these products?
The Scan and Cut I purchased from Quilt Expressions before they closed down, but you can get Scan and Cut online. Couple of my friends on here, Sylvia, I think, got hers on HSN when they had a special running. I got mine at Quilt Expressions. You can buy
Quilt Corners and on the north side, and Sew and Vac on the south side have Scan and Cuts.
Correct.
You can buy Cricut, and I believe you can still buy Silhouette at Joann's as well as online.
So what I was really asking was about the vinyl and
the vinyl
items that you use with this.
Okay, I purchased my vinyl from a couple different places. There are several websites, and I can't think of the names right now, but if you're interested, I can send some web links to everybody.
Amazon has it. And yeah. Joann's has the Cricut brand of vinyl.
And that's true, Linda. Vinyl, Cricut vinyl, Silhouette vinyl, Oracle is my vinyl of choice. I have never used the Cricut vinyl because I know that I like Oracle. And I do typically buy my vinyl, no matter what it is, on Amazon. But there are several websites that you can get it from that have a variety of vinyls. Does that help you, Annie?
Yes, thank you very much. So did you take lessons with this, or did lessons come with it?
Lessons, yeah. Not really. When I got my Silhouette, I joined a web group that was hosted by, and I've got her little book here, Melissa Viscount. And she does an absolute great job. She created this book, The Ultimate Silhouette Guide. And this is geared towards silhouette, but this is a good place to point out that anything that you can do on one cutting machine, you can do on the other.
Okay.
You can draw, you can cut, you can do all of these things. The only difference is the method that is used to draw and cut. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
There are a lot of videos on YouTube, and there are groups on Facebook that you can go to for help with this and teaching tools.
Oh yeah, and Melissa is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Even though I no longer have a Silhouette, she is just a wealth of knowledge.
How did you happen to go from Silhouette to the Brother?
I got frustrated with the Silhouette before everybody came out with auto blades. I got frustrated with Silhouette because I was wanting to do the scan and cut feature, which I'm going to show you next.
Okay.
And it was the scanner that really convinced me to go with the Brother Scan and Cut. The scanner and the fact that it has the LCD screen built into the machine, that I can make quick changes. I can make a real quick design right on the machine. In fact, this little thing that I did here, whoops, I just took my camera off. The first little ASG thing that I made,
yes,
that was all designed on the machine itself.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was going to show you how to do that, but it was just too time consuming.
sure, sure. What's a rough estimate of the cost of these machines?
Very rough estimate. This was the newest model when I got it a couple years ago. And I'm thinking, and Linda, correct me if I'm wrong, you have the same model. I'm thinking at the time that I bought it, it was around $500.
Oh.
Yeah, and I looked at one the other day, which, a scan and cut. And the latest one, the best one that they have right now includes a lot of Disney, and it's close to 600. Probably the most reasonable machine is the Cricut. And then you go to the Silhouette, it's a little bit more expensive, but then you go to the Brother Scan and Cut, and it's more expensive, but you have the scanning feature and you have that screen, and you have tools on that screen that you can use to create your designs. So yeah, it varies in price. You can go from $200 to $700.
That is not bad considering the price of sewing machines, but
oh, no.
Here's the other question I have. Has this taken over your sewing time?
That's
Yes,
a
it
very good
does.
question. That's a very good question. And I'm a toy person. I like all of us who sew, I think I've got a lot of little toys. I'm also a software geek.
Okay.
So I like
that helps.
Software, which is one of the reasons I've upgraded to the business version of the Silhouette software. And I have
ladies, I hate to do this to you, but it's my job to keep you on task.
Okay.
You're having a great discussion, but if we don't cut this, you're not gonna get through your presentations. No, it's not you, it's them. So I'm gonna delay questions now, and Mary Jo, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I need you to keep going, okay?
To quickly do my job, right?
I didn't say that. I want you to do your job, though.
You're doing a great job. Great job, Sylvia. Okay, now I'm going to get back to the scan and cut feature. Okay, back to the machine. What I'm going to do now is I have these, I call them my little sewing ladies. And it was just a free clip art design that I found somewhere on the web. And I did have to do some cleanup on it. So what I'm going to do now is get this.
And you put this on cardboard. You printed it with your printer, correct?
Correct. I printed it not on cardboard. I printed it on paper cardstock. You can
cardstock, yeah.
You can print on anything. So what I'm going to do first of all is load my mat. And I still have the design from my last little thing on here, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, now then I'm going to show you some of the things that are on the screen built in. I'm going to, go back. I'm going to select pattern. These are different patterns that are built into this machine. There's lettering. There's different words that you can pick out. Borders, all kinds of things. I'm going to go into a simple pattern. I'm going to select this curved rectangle, set it. Okay, now then I'm going to scan my mat. The purpose of this is to find out where these little ladies are so that I can place that cut line around them. And you can cut any shape you want. For this one, I'm doing just a simple rectangle. Now, why would I want to do this? You could do all kinds of things with this. You can create stickers for your kids and grandkids. And I need to quit talking for a minute and show you what to do next. So while it's cutting, first thing I'm going to do is take my rectangle and I want to rotate it so it's vertical rather than horizontal. Now then, I know that I have 4 ladies here, so I want 4 of these. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little rectangles and move them around my ladies. And in the real world, I would take a little more time placing them so that they're a little more centered. Okay, so I have them pretty much where I want. And I'm going to tell it okay. Now this time I have to tell it that I want to cut. Okay, and the last thing that I cut was half cut. Well, on this, I want to cut all the way through this cardstock. So I'm going to turn half cut off. And now I'm ready to cut. So press start. Magic happened and it starts cutting. Why would I want to do this? As I said, you could make stickers for your grandkids, your kids. A lot of people I know use day planners and they cut out little stickers to put on their day planners for different things. You could make name tags, refrigerator magnets. There's all kinds of things that you can cut with all of these machines. And I know that Silhouette has a way that you can do this also. But when I had my Silhouette machine, that was one of the reasons I wanted to do something else when I saw the scanner. I could never get the original Silhouette to work the way I wanted. Okay, it's finished. I took it out. So I just peel off my cardstock. Can you see that? Now I have these little 4 ladies. So to get them off, I just kind of bend my mat. Oops. And now I have these 4 little ladies cut out of cardstock. Now, if I wanted to use these, I thought a cute use for these might be if I was hosting maybe a retreat, or if I was even going to a retreat. I could print this and put names on it. I could write the name in. I could put the name on the individual designs when I'm printing it for on my printer. And if I want to be real fancy about it, I could probably do a mail merge and take those names from a list and print them right on there. So that's the 2 things that I wanted to show you about Scan and Cut. And there's a lot of different things. You know, obviously there's just a plethora of things that you can do with all of these machines. And like I said, my machine of choice is Brother Scan and Cut. So now I'm going to turn it over to Linda, who is going to talk about cutting fabric, applique fabric with the Scan and Cut.
Before you go, one quick one-word answer, please, Mary Jo. Can you take Silhouette designs and cut them on the Brother Scan and Cut?
Well, yes, you can, but all of these machines have proprietary formats. Silhouette uses .studio, Brother uses .fcm, and Cricut, you cannot save the designs to your hard drive. But yes, there is software. There are ways to convert it from a .studio to a Scan and Cut. And
okay.
A very common format to use, I know I talk a lot, Sylvia, a very common format that's used is SVG. And all of the newer machines that we've talked about will let you import into their software.
Okay, then there's one more question. Either you or Linda can answer this. Do you have, what printer do you use? Like you printed your stuff on cardstock in order to scan it in. What type of printer do you have? Jude is saying that her printer doesn't print on cardstock. it messes up all the time.
Oh, okay.
Short answer. Short
Go ahead.
answer.
Who was that? Oh.
Jude.
Okay, I currently have an Epson printer, and I say currently because my Canon just quit working about a week ago. And I have not had, well, I won't say I have not had any issues. Cardstock frequently gives me issues, and I've discovered that with cardstock, I have to feed it into the tray one sheet at a time, and I can get good results.
I have an HP printer, and my particular printer works fine with cardstock. You know, I think it just depends on the quality of printer. And I will say that my printer costs less than $100. So
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the printer, and you just have to look at the features for the particular printer you're picking out.
Well, exactly. And you know what you're going to use that printer for. If you're going to print a lot of cardstock, then I would really investigate what printers can use cardstock. You know, how many sheets of cardstock can I put into my paper tray? That kind of thing. Yeah, and that's a good question.
Thank you, Mary Jo.
You're
Can
welcome.
we, Linda, at this time, if you will do your presentation. Mary Jo, that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sylvia.
Okay, I'm going to talk about using these electronic cutters for fabrics. Now, usually you can put any type of fabric on the mats and run it through like the scan and cut. You're going to get different quality of cuts. For instance, I personally will not put minky or felt into the machine. If I do use felt, then I put heat and bond, and I turn it upside down so that the blade is cutting into the heat and bond rather than into the felt or the minky. I just don't like to use it for those particular items. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pumpkin, and I'm going to go into my screen, wake my screen up, and I'm going to retrieve data because I already have the pumpkin here. So I have mine on a USB drive, and I brought it in as an SVG file. Most of your embroidery design packets now have SVG files, and that the scan and cut and the silhouette both can read SVG files. I think the Cricut can as well. But I just put my SVG file on my drive, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's my pumpkin. And I say, okay. And then up here in the corner is the pumpkin, the shape of the pumpkin. Now, I'm going to show you one. This is what, when it finishes, let's see, can you see that? Okay, when it finishes, this is what the pumpkin is going to look like. Now, when I'm using cotton fabric or something like that, I typically back it with heat and bond. You take the paper off of the heat and bond, and then you put your fabric directly onto a mat. And you know, they have different types of mats. They have carriers. This is just a standard mat with a fabric carrier on it. And so I load this into my machine. Let's see if I can move my camera so you can see it. Okay, there it is. Okay, So it loaded it in, it set it. And I know that that is, the pumpkin is kind of in the corner here, so I'm going to move it out a little bit. Okay, so I'm not going to do any editing to it. I'm going to leave it as it is. I could scan the mat so that I can get the placement of that fabric, but I don't really need to in this case. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to my select. I have the cut, the draw, the emboss, the foil, and I'm going to go to cut. And then I'm going to hit start. And it's going to take it in. It's first going to determine the thickness and how that blade's going to work. Now, I have used glitter flex on the machine. I've used all kinds of materials. Cork is pretty easy to cut. Vinyl, of course, you know, vinyl and purses and things like that, they're pretty easy to cut. Okay, so I'm going to take this out and I'm going to pull this away. And there's my pumpkin. And so I can take this and I can just put it on my embroidery. And you know, you can do embroidery, you could use this on a quilt. You could do it without using an embroidery file. You could just sew it on using different types of your decorative stitches and such. Notice on here that the mat is pretty yucky looking. And the way that I clean that up is I take a baby wipe and I just run it over this mat, and it's one of those, and it just cleans it up and it's ready to go the next time. You can use these mats over and over again. Eventually they will wear out. Sometimes, and I've done this, I've cut through the mat. And when you do that, to begin with, all you have to do is go to the back of the mat and put duct tape on it to put it, hold it together, and you still can use that mat for a while. So this is the way that I use my scan and cut most of the time. It's for my embroidery files. Now here it is, pulled out, and this is what it looks like.
Linda, we can't see what you're holding up. Can you move it down a little bit and to the right?
To the right.
Down.
How's that?
And down.
Oh, down. I'll
Yes,
tell you what, I'll go to another camera and show it. Okay. Let me go to another camera.
And while she's doing that, Evelyn, yes, you do have to replace the mats when they have too many cuts on them, but that is, they should hang around for a while. It's not like you're gonna replace one every time you cut or every 10 cuts. It'll be a while. And if you use the adjustable blade, it'll last a very long time. Sorry, Linda.
No,
that's a good point, Sylvia. Oh, that's pretty. Now we can see it.
Okay, so there is my pumpkin stitched out. And the nice thing is that when you are doing a machine embroidery, you don't have to sit there and cut around that. It gives a much cleaner cut. Sometimes I do have to enlarge the the pumpkin. I could enlarge it just a little bit to give a little more coverage when it does the tack down stitch, but most of the time it works just fine. So are there any questions, Sylvia, on
yes, we real quick, this is one question. Is the mat sticky?
Yes, the mats come in different different kinds of stickiness. The fabric mats, they just came out with a new fabric mat but the fabric requires the stickiest mat that you can get. And that's why they take these mats, and in my case, I put a carrier sheet over the top of it. So it's kind of a clear sheet that attaches to the mat, but it's really sticky. I mean, it's very sticky. They also have the standard stickiness, and they have a low tack mat that you can use. Also, these mats come in different sizes. This is the standard size. There's also a 24-inch. So if you have something that you want that's very long, whether it be vinyl or paper or fabric, you can do a 24-inch, use a 24-inch mat. They also have a roller so that you can put different kinds of fabrics or materials on it, like vinyl, where you can, or paper, where you can make it as long as you want.
Linda, I don't think you can use paper with the roller. I'm not sure about. I know vinyl you can load in and you can cut it matless with the roller.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought you were able to you know, like draw on paper using an extended. You still have the width. You are limited to the width, but the length, I thought that you could do that, but I could be wrong.
Linda, we have another question from Christy on how to transfer the file from the cutter to your embroidery machine. So you have the applique, tag down, and outline stitch for your embroidery design. Please, a short answer.
Okay, the embroidery file is an embroidery file. It is totally separate. All you're doing is taking the SVG file or a PES file into your cutter to cut your pumpkin, in this case, cut the pumpkin out. You take it to your embroidery machine and you use the embroidery files that you would use with your particular sewing machine. So they're not one and the same, they're different files. So you're taking a SVG file or a PES file into the scan and cut. You're taking a VP3 or a PES file into your embroidery machine.
How do you maintain these machines?
How do you maintain these machines? Well, the maintenance for me has been replacing the pins, the blades, the cutting blades, the mats, the machine itself. I've not worn the machine out. So here is one of the cutting blades. But I've not worn the machine out. So I don't know how to, I guess I would throw it away and get a new one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you buy the next model.
Right.
Brenda Foreman added that just make sure that the blade is free from gunk. You can use a crumpled ball of aluminum foil to clean any oxidation off the blade to extend the life of the blade. So thank you for answering those questions. And I think you're going to go to your next section, Linda, please.
Yes. I'm going to talk now about the AccuQuilt. And the AccuQuilt is another type of cutting machine. The difference between the ones that we've just talked about and the AccuQuilt and Sizzix is somewhat the same. We don't really use it very often, but Sizzix is another one of the machines like this that uses dies. And the AccuQuilt actually uses a die and a mat. and it runs through the machine. Now there are 4 different models of the AccuQuilt. This is the Go Big, which is the electric model, and is the only one that's electric. There is also the Go Baby, and here it is. Here's the Go Baby, and it's a crank version, but it is limited to dies that are small. So you have to be able to get that die in there. So this one would go in, this die would not go in. And also there is the Go, which is also a crank, but it's about the same width as this one. Then there's also a studio model, which is a heavy duty one. It is also a crank. And it uses its own dies. Now I think they've come out with a way that you could use the dies from the Go Big or the Go, and then you can use it in that, but it needs a different type of mat so that it cranks through correctly. Now, this is the way that they have come up with handling these mats so that you can see what you're working with. First of all, when AccuQuilt first started, they started with paper. They were cutting templates for paper. And then they realized at some point that this was great for quilting and for embroidery. So they went to using it more for cloth fabrics rather than paper. They kind of discouraged paper. In fact, I asked a question about one of the dies once, and it happened to be one that they had at when they were pushing using it for paper. But anyway, this is a car, and I'll show you more about this car a little bit later on. But you've got the car base, you've got the wheels, and you've got the top up here. And you can put different kinds of fabric on here, or different, pieces of fabric. You don't have to have one piece of fabric that covers the whole thing. You can put it just in this area, or you could put it over the 2 circles to make this car, and it's layered. This car, on their website, on the AccuQuilt website, there are embroidery files, and there are embroidery files for almost all of the dies. Part of them are free, and part of them you need to purchase. So, but you can cut this out, and you can, in your embroidery machine, put the file in, the embroidery file in, and you can have a placement stitch, and then put this on top of it, and it fits perfectly for your tack down stitch. I'm going to show you another file or another die that we have, and that's this is one that I used about 2 weeks ago. We had the Carmel Fishers Group had a meeting, and Alta and I did a demonstration on Christmas ornaments. Can you see these ornaments? I can't see what you can see. Can you see these? Okay. With these circles, we cut out circles. And in my case, I used this particular one, and I cut out a bunch of circles, and I had everybody make these ornaments out of the circles. Alta cut out circles, And she had us make these Christmas trees out of the circles. So, you know, you can use parts of these dies. You could put a piece of fabric over the entire die and make 4 different sizes. It's just endless what you can do with them. Another thing that we did, thanks to Mary Jo, we had a die made. And this is a company associated with AccuQuilt. It's not actually AccuQuilt, but they made a stocking die for us. Now, we didn't get the 2 different colors, and I need to mark mine, but this is in the shape of the stockings that we make for the troops and first responders. And you can cut up to 6 layers of cotton fabric. So that means you cut 3 stockings and you can go through that very quickly. I'm going to run some fabric through for those who've not seen these things cut. I have 4 layers of fabric here, and I'm going to put my mat over it. The mat squeezing down on the blades on that die will cut that fabric. And in my case, I have the electric because I'm lazy and I just let it go. I don't have to crank it. Again, you can cut all different kinds of fabric. You can cut cork. You can cut vinyl. Some of these things, though, I wouldn't cut them more than 1 layer at a time. So I'm going to just slide that off and pull this off. And here I have 4 layers of fabric that are cut for the stockings. And then I just sewed one out. So I think it took me to sew this out. I used my serger and just turned it down and stitched it. I have to put the ribbon on it. But I think it took me less than 5 minutes to do the whole thing. The longest part was pressing it. So that's what the AccuQuilt does. So, any questions, Sylvia? Can't hear you.
We had one from Evelyn, but I'm going to hold on those because they really refer back to the scan and cut and stuff. So if you would continue with this, then we'll pick up questions unless they come for you specifically.
Okay, well, that's about all I have on the AccuQuilt for right now until we get into our mini trunk show. So any questions on the mats or the thing that wears out on these are these mats on the top, and you can use them in different ways to get the cut lines and keep this as long as you can. I have 1 size mat that I go through because I make a lot of banners, and I wear those things out. So I buy them 2 at a time. But I love my AccuQuilt. I love my scan and cut, but I probably use my AccuQuilt twice as much as I do my scan and cut. So.
Okay, we're ready to go on.
Okay. Okay, I think we're ready now to do our trunk show. And Mary Jo, you want to start or you want me to?
No, I can start. I'll give you a little
Okay.
to clean up if you need to. That's what I did while you were doing yours. Okay, little mini trunk show, and I will try not to be real talkative here. like I said, I know I can talk forever.
And Mary Jo, since you are the resident geekette, we have a question still about the transferring of files from one thing to another. For example, if you're in your software, how do you get from your software to your cutter, to the scan and cut? And Cindy, I think, responded, but I don't know that everybody saw that. So if you could take a minute and explain that.
The question, was that the one from, and I'm sorry, I don't know your first name, Cummings?
Yeah, that's Evelyn.
Oh, Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn. Yes, some embroidery applique designs come with SVG files. More and more designers nowadays are including SVG files with their designs. And you can open a PEZ file in the Scan and Cut. And the Silhouette software, one of the upgraded versions, will allow you to open all the common embroidery formats. And I can't think of all of them right off. Pez, Jeff, XXX. The other question that I saw was Cindy. Was that it?
Oh, wait, before you go on, Mary Jo, one thing to remember is that you can use a USB you can load your SVG files or PEZ files or whatever file. You can use that to put it into the Scan and Cut and load your design from the USB into the Scan and Cut, or you can do it Wi-Fi. You can have it on your computer and Wi-Fi it over to the Scan and Cut. But you need them to be in the file formats that your Scan and Cut, your Silhouette, or your Cricut can read.
That is
correct. Then would one of you talk about replacing the mats and the whole issue of the stickiness of the mat?
Okay, the stickiness of the mat, like Linda mentioned, goes down over time. And a lot of that depends on what you're cutting. If you're cutting a lot of vinyl, then the stickiness will not dissipate, I guess, as quickly as if you're cutting fabric, especially if you don't use a heat and bond on the back. Fabric will take away the stickiness. Cardstock paper will take away the stickiness. So you use a baby wipe, like Linda said, that's lanolin free to wipe down your mat. Now, if none of that works, one thing that you can do is, I keep a little box in my craft room, actually a good size box, and I use a can of 505 spray.
Back from a search.
Whoops, sorry, Google just heard that. I keep a spray box in my craft room, and I use 505 spray or any kind of an adhesive spray on the back of my paper or vinyl, put it on the mat. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also re-stick your mat with something called the zig pin. It's a big fat barrel pin that's got a repositional glue onto it. And that's a process that I don't think we want to get into right now.
Yeah, the mats last quite a while, as long as you maintain them using the baby wipes or whatever. But you do have to replace them. I've replaced several, and it's just part of the deal. It's kind of like, bobbin thread, or you do have to. They wear out, or they're used up, and so you have to move on and get something else. And like the AccuQuilt, it's the mats, the top mat that wears out a lot. And but going back, there was another question that came up about the embroidery files. Your embroidery machine uses Pez. If you have Baby Lock or Brother machines, VP3, if you have FOF or Viking, and then there are other different file extensions depending on what kind of an embroidery machine you have. What is common, what is used in the Brother Scan and Cut, it will take a PEZ file, but keep in mind, it's a Brother product and Brother sewing machines use PEZ, so they've engineered it to accept that. But for the most part, it's an SVG file, not an embroidery file that you take in to one of these electronic machines to get your design for cutting.
And that's true, Linda. But the Silhouette software, if you have one of the upgraded versions, you can convert the more common formats into an SVG file.
Okay. Yeah, but you still going into the machine, it has to be
correct
in the format that the machine can read, and it is not the same as the sewing machines, embroidery files. Any more questions, Sylvia?
No, that's it. We're ready, Mary Jo.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my other camera where you can see things. Okay. These are some of the things, whoops, excuse me, that I have made with mine. These have all been done with the Scan and Cut. This is a piece of luggage that I put this little flower design on so that when my luggage is coming off of the belt at an airport, I can see it from a distance. This is sticky vinyl, and I can tell that because some of the sticky vinyl is peeling away, which is one of the bad things about sticky vinyl and this kind of stuff. This is a carrier that I use for all kinds of things when I'm taking my stuff someplace. This I used heat transfer vinyl glitter, which is also known as HTV. And this is a little sign that I made for my porch. Can you see that? And this, I simply got a canvas from Michael's, Hobby Lobby, wherever, painted it with just some old house paint. I think it was samples that I had around the house. Cut out the letters just like we did today, laid them out, put them on my canvas, and then I did cover it with a couple layers of Mod Podge just so that it would be weatherproof out on my screened-in porch.
And how old is that?
That is, I'm guessing, probably 4 years old or more. So it's lasted a long time, and I leave it out all summer. I don't bring it in the rain. I do bring it in the winter, though. Okay, now I'm going to get my belly out of the way. Okay, now these are fabric and, let me move this closer. This is all fabric and card type things that I have made on my Scan and Cut. And I know we're running over, so I will try not to talk too much. Sylvia, tell me if I'm getting too talkative. This is, whoops. This is a Christmas card that I made on the Scan and Cut. Now, when I make cards, I use pre-purchased card formats. And I need to, at this point, say a little thank you to Marlene Story for getting me started on cards. I had all of this stuff and I just never knew where to start. So this was all done on the Scan and Cut, the little piece dove, this little tag, and these two pieces. All I did was put a little bit of glittery gold ribbon on it to kind of tie it together. This is actually the first Christmas cards that I made. And this was all cut on the Scan and Cut, the trees. Now the paper in the back, I hope you can see that. The paper in the back, I did emboss that with my Sizzix hand crank, but I wrote the words on Scan and Cut. This is one of the very, very first cards I made. This was all printed on the Scan and Cut. This was cut on the Scan and Cut. And this little design is something that I did that's called flower pounding. Then I put a piece of colored paper on the back so that the lavender, would show through and it wouldn't look ugly on the back. Okay, those are cards that I've made. These are both table runners that I made, all cut out on the AccuQuilt. And I know we're not talking about sewing machines, but I love my Solaris, so I did all the quilting on the Solaris. These are 2 wallets. Both of them, the fabric was cut on the AccuQuilt. The top one is cork fabric. The bottom one is faux leather. And it's got little pieces inside. This entire thing was cut on the AccuQuilt. There's a little pocket here and 6 places for credit cards. This is etching that I did, and this candle is simply an inexpensive candle that I picked up at Myers or Walmart, someplace like that. And to do the etching, you could do something like, oops, I didn't mean for this to skip. You would do a reverse weeding. So if we would take, can't get that off, the letters where we weeded out NDISG. Oh, here's a sample. Sorry about this, ladies. Okay, this is the letters that we weeded out on NDISG. And I'm just using this glass top as an example. You would take that, put it down on your glass, take the transfer paper off, and you need to get it tight. Then you put an etching cream on it, let it sit, just follow directions, wash it off when it's done. And then here again, voila, you have a nice etched piece. Now on this one, I did use a rub and buff on the letters so that the letters would be darker, so you could read it a little bit better. What else? When I first
You are only limited by your imagination.
Pardon me?
I said you are only limited by your imagination.
And that's true. Imagination, and in my case, Pinterest. Pinterest is my friend. When I first got my scan and cut, I kind of went crazy labeling things. So this is a flour shaker, my kosher salt. This is a little thing. This was actually made on a Cameo many, many years ago in a class with Don Winter.
And that's a silhouette, Cameo silhouette.
Correct. And it's actually 2 layers of vinyl so that you have 2 different colors. And this, excuse me, this is actually one of my favorites. This is a bag that I've had for years. It was already embroidered with my initials. And I have a little dog that when I'm traveling, I board it. So I did an HTV heat transfer vinyl on here to put my dog's stuff in it. His little bed, his food, everything fits in here. So it's a lot of fun. Like Linda said, you know, just use your imagination, spend a lot of time on Pinterest. And that's my little mini trunk show. So Linda, it's all yours.
Okay. Okay, as I said, I use my scan and cut to cut in my appliques for my embroidery. Here is a wall hanging that I did, and this is glitter flex. And so I just cut the dress form out, and it was really kind of funny. I was looking at my mats the other day, and I cut into my mat in this shape. So I know I did this on the scan and cut. Here's another one. Again, glitter flex and regular cotton, and that was done on the scan and cut. Here's a snowman, his hat. Those were done on the scan and cut, and then my little rabbit was on the scan and cut. This is a magnet that I did on a silhouette And it just took, one piece of magnet, and I ended up with 4 different magnets. So you can put pictures in here, but different things. So this was done on a silhouette. On this particular one that I did, this was done on the scan and cut, but the sashing around it was done on the AccuQuilt. And the AccuQuilt is great for getting your strips straight, which is, I love it for that. Here is a quilt that Betty Daniels did. And it used the die that I showed earlier. But if you see it, you notice that all of these cars are different. Now she used some decorative stitches from her sewing machine, but she also used some of the embroidery files. So she did lots of different things on here. Okay. One of the things that Betty wanted me to show you is that this Sunbonnet Sue, she did this using an embroidery file, and this one she did using her sewing machine and coming up with the decorative stitches on that sewing machine. So, the AccuQuilt can be used for both sewing and embroidery. There's another one. And here we have 4 of them put together. And then last but not least, one of the things I like to do are banners. I have 11 grandchildren. I have made a happy birthday banner for every one of them, but I just like to make these fast banners. It used 2 AccuQuilt dies, the one for the banner itself, and then the other one are letters, and those letters are put on there using heat and bond. So when I cut the letters out, I cut the heat and bond as well, and then all I have to do is fuse it to the banner. So those are my things to show. So we're back to you, Sylvia. Any more questions?
I see absolutely no questions. So if we would like to unmute at this time and have a discussion on what we've learned this morning, that would be great. Linda and Mary Jo, I'd like to thank both of you for inviting us into your homes. You've been very gracious with your knowledge, and some of it went over my head. I don't know about anybody else, but it's been very inspirational. I hope that those of us who have machines will get them off the shelf or out of the closets and then start to use them. These are powerful machines, and it's been great. Obviously, I'd like to say something too about this being our first Zoom meeting with so many people in attendance. Alta, I have to call you out. Alta is one of our members who's over 90 years old. She still sews, and she's such an inspiration to me. She did a Zoom class with our Carmel meeting on last Monday night with Linda, and she did those ornaments, and she's just awesome. We need to get younger people in, and we need to keep our elders in. And again, I just thank you, and it's been great. So unless we have questions, we'll go back to Darlene.
Anyone have questions for Linda and Mary Jo? I think you ladies did an absolutely wonderful job. I think it was like so professional. I could have paid for such a good class. So thank you. Sylvia, you're such a nice moderator, so kind and sweet.
You're kind.
So
that was great. You guys did fabulous. So
Thank you.
I still say I want to come out and hang with you guys and sew. So maybe everybody else does too.
Can I ask a quick question? How much were the small little cutters, the Go?
They're $100. They're $100.
I mean, would that be a good introduction to this? Because I'm overwhelmed. It's just so creative. I don't have that.
Oh yeah, it will be. I mean, it would be because there are a lot of dies that you can use with that particular machine.
But each die is separate. You have to pay for it. So your other thing is a better deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, buying the whole thing, you get everything.
Oh yeah, the scan and cut. If you're doing individual things, like if you're going to do one embroidery file, then that's when I go to the scan and cut. If I'm going to make quilt that has 20 cars on it or something, I'm going to go to the AccuQuilt.
Okay. It was fun.
I've probably made the individual banners, each letter. I've probably done close to 300 of those.
Good.
It's a lot of fun, but you have to weigh what it is you're going to do with it. And the thing is that the intimidation factor, try not to be intimidated. Open that box up and use it. And it's kind of interesting when, as Mary Jo and Sylvia and I worked on this, it was like, I'm excited. I want to do more with my scan and cut. And so I'm going to start using my scan and cut for more than just applique.
And I'm going to start making my Christmas cards very shortly.
Okay, so there's a question about the recording. So I have recorded this and I'm going to put it in a thing we call Dropbox. And I believe from that, I'll be able to send it to somebody. I'll have to practice on that because usually when it's in, they're very large files. So I have to see how I can do that, but that's why I recorded it so I can do it. I just got to see how best to do that. And then we can send this program to our members that also want to see it and we're not able to attend. So,
and also, Darlene, can we send the PowerPoint?
Yes. Yes. Because that's in the file. I think you guys already put that in the file, so I'll be able to attach that also. So I'll practice with that and see. Like I said, the only problem is the recording is a very large file, and that may be an issue. The PowerPoint won't be an issue, but the recording might. So let me see what I can do with it, and then I'll let everybody know that it'll be available as soon as I make sure that it is. Okay?
Thank you, Darlene.
Okay, then did we have any more questions or anything about business for this year?
So would you ask everyone to post their mug rugs and anything else on our Facebook page, please?
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, if you could post your mug rugs on Facebook, that would be nice because then everyone could see them and they're really cute. And I think that it'll show up better because sometimes it's hard for us to see because of our computers are all different. And on Facebook, you'll be able to see them a lot better. So that's a good idea. And Brenda, yeah, I'll look and see about breaking the video in 2 parts. I'll have to work with it and see, and that might work. So
you can also send a link. I think you can send a link. You'll get something from Zoom, and I think you can send that, and people can look at it from there.
Okay, yeah. So let me work on that and see what I can do and get that too, because you guys did an awesome program, and I do want other people to be able to see it. It was really good. Okay, so if there is any more business or not, I will close this meeting then, and thank you all for attending. We will start show and tell then now, since the meeting is adjourned.
I'm out.
You done with us?
Yeah, I've got to go.
Okay, thanks for attending.
Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody have any show and tell?
All of mine are quilts and I can't show them. I mean, there's no way to show them.
And I think Linda already did all of our show and tell.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We're done.
Okay. All right, does anybody have anything? Because I don't want to not put you in there.
I
I
saw
just want
Norma.
to say this was really nice.
Who's?
And this was really nice and a big help. Big help.
Thanks, Midge.
I have, yeah. I
I
have
saw
some show and
Norma
tell.
raising her hand here.
That's Kay.
Yeah, it's Kay, not Norman, but
Oh, I thought it said Norma. Sorry, Kay.
no, it happens. I came prepared for show and tell. I make flannel PJs and cotton ones because half my gang now lives in warm climates. So one thing would be like Purdue shorts.
Oh, nice.
Or
Oh,
something
love
for
'em.
Christmas, and usually between 16 and 22 pair, depending on boyfriend, girlfriends, and with all, and we have 10 grandkids, so, and they go from age 6 months to 22 years, so they vary. And one thing I've found, I can't get at Joann's the elastic with the drawstring, and so I order that from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Home Sew catalog, and you get 20 yards for, I forgot what now. And as I cut for each person, I put their name down and the amount I cut off, and I keep that card. It takes about 3 years to go through this because not all of them are drawstring. Some of them are just the regular elastic, and the younger kids have lighter weight elastic, not so tight. Make little outfits for one granddaughter that just keeps growing. And this pattern has been used, I think, now 6 times. So I got my money's worth, especially since I bought it for $1.99. Someone gave me this knit fabric, so I made the slacks, the skirt. She's very tall, so I find you can lengthen this pattern and whatever, and then add the skirt, and I just cut it in different versions. So just got 4 outfits off of it, and none of them look alike, but they fit her well. And then our last one, our sewing group in Lafayette did the, oh, I dropped the pattern, just a minute. McCall's, last year was our challenge. I don't know if you can see which one it is, the tunic. And we could do the different ways. So I finally got mine done a year after it needed to be, but I finally did get it. It is unique that it has darts here that can be sewed on the outside. If I was to do it again, I'd sew them on the inside. That was just the way I followed the pattern. If I did again, I'd vary it. And one gal made it sleeveless, and it was really cute. Pattern, it's got pockets. You definitely want to line them with lining, not with the fabric. This is a knit. Joann's, and again, when you can get it on sale to do it. But it was interesting to make because it was so different, but there's a lot of top stitching in it. So you really got to watch how you do the top stitching and change the needle. I learned that the hard way, and I'm done.
Those are nice.
Hey, Kay.
Yes.
Would you be willing to do a demonstration on how to put in that drawstring elastic?
Maybe. I use Nancy Zeman's book, and she had one section in one book how to do elastic, and that's where I got the information because I did not know. Main thing is you got to figure out where you're going to put the elastic drawstring to come on the outside of the garment or on the inside.
Okay.
And as to where you would put your buttonholes for it. And I have done mine all on the inside. None of them have said they want them on the outside. Okay. But yeah, it's very simple, but it was under Nancy Zeman's how to put in elastic different ways. And she has that drawstring in it.
Okay, I'll find it. Thank you.
Okay, and if you don't, why I can give you the book in, text me and I'll give it to you.
Actually, I think I have that book, so thank you.
Okay.
I have show and tell.
Hi.
I made these cases for my mini iron. And they have Peltex in the top and bottom. And I have zippers by the yard, so I use those. Then I made another one. And there are instructions for the handles. A couple years ago, I made bowls. This is from Cindy Lou's camp, and these are all done in the hoop. These are flower bowls with Angelina in the inside. This is a embroidery library design, and I'm making a trivet for my daughter for Christmas. This is clothesline wrapped with fabric, and it's a bowl. So your scraps, 1/2 inch wide, you cut them 1/2 inch wide, wrap the clothesline. It does have to be all cotton clothesline. And then if you get white cotton clothesline, you can make bowls that are white. And I'll try to get this so it doesn't show that. And these designs are from Embroidery Library as well. So those are those. And then I've made these, this is by Annie. These are zipper and they fold back and you can put your scissors in them. I'm sorry, it's all dark. It's all this spool fabric, but when you zip them closed, absolutely nothing falls out. And I'm modifying this to be deeper so that what you would put in this inside pocket here, when this folds back, there's no room for the things to be in the pocket. So I'm going to make it deeper so you can hold stuff in the pocket when you close it. And this is a by Annie's fold and go pattern. A friend of mine had some pieces that were basically handles given to her, and I wove them together and made a mat. And that's my share.
What pattern was the mini cases?
Oh, this one, like this?
Yeah.
I will post that on the website because I need to find my paper. I have it out, but it's in another room.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Brenda, would you please post that on Facebook also?
Yes, I'll take pictures of these and then post where the information came from.
Good. Thank you.
Those are all nice projects.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Everybody's.
Anybody else have any?
Nice job, Darlene.
Oh, thank you. You guys are fabulous.
I have a shirt. I made this at the Sew Tree last week. It's a flannel shirt.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And it had a lot of seams in it. So I was a little crazy with my plans. And then I made a sweatshirt. That didn't take any time at all with a hoodie in the back. I don't know if you can see it. It had I mean, this was made out of stuff I had around, it aged a little bit. And this is my COVID jacket. I mean, it's a cape that I made when COVID started. I felt like I had to start using up some of my fabric.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a garment sewer than a crafty sewer. So that's my show and tell. And I made this blouse a while back from, I think, one of our trips to Chicago. I bought the fabric there. Yeah.
Pretty.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone have anything else then? Okay, well, I guess that we're done for today. Thank you all very much. Thank you again, Linda, Mary Jo, and Sylvia. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes.
Darlene.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you
Darlene,
all.
for having this.
Yeah.
Yes.
You.
It was a lot of fun, and thank you, Darlene, for all your hard work doing this.
Yes, thank you so much. The last 4 years, you've done a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I had help, so that's what makes it good. So thank you. All right. You guys all have a good day and a good rest of your weekend, all right? And
All right.
like I said, I'll try to
Bye-bye.
get this out in the recording. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.